And Harish, I want to bring you in at this point. You've been speaking very strongly against these raids that have been conducted by the ministers. Now they've actually said that they have given an ultimatum to the Delhi police. What are police officials saying to you? Because you've come up with some very disturbing details.
I don't know what the police officials are saying, but some people have. I was disturbed by what I saw on TV last night. What appeared to be brazen interference with police functioning. And Barkha, what disturbs me is this: if the allegations are true, they are very serious allegations of anarchy on the streets. Just because you're a minister doesn't give you the right to stop one vehicle, a second vehicle, a third vehicle, search people, stop 4 ladies to an extent that one of them, poor thing, had to go and relieve herself on the street, and then speak to the police people on TV camera in this tone. If you are a minister and you are disturbed that complaints are not being addressed in a manner known to law, you have to act under the law and the constitution and not on the streets. And I feel strongly about this. And what worries me is the public disenchantment with the established political system is shrinking. And that area should not be filled by anarchists.
But Harish, I want to ask you something.
And coming to the fact on whether your political philosophy should depend on what you hear from your left or from your right, I think your idea of what is good for the country should come from what lies between your ears and not your ears.
Harish, I want to ask you something. You said that you'd heard really disturbing details about the women being forced to provide urine samples. You also said you've heard from a police officer that one of the women was actually made to urinate in public behind her car by this mob. I want you to talk a little bit about that, and then I want Prashant to respond.
The allegation I've heard is that these 4 ladies were stopped, and one of them desperately wanted to go and ease herself, and they were not allowed to go, to the extent that she had to go and ease herself outside the car. And what I am given to understand is that more than 2 or 3 vehicles were stopped, and there was this motley group of 50-60 people going around stopping vehicles which had either a Nigerian or a Ugandan or people of that, and generally accusing them of being involved in flesh trade, etc. See, if this street vigilanteism can't be indulged in by people who hold high constitutional office.
Prashant, I want you to respond to this. I want you to respond to these very disturbing details. Even Malika Sarabhai of the Aam Aadmi Party, your party, was saying to me earlier that she believed the law minister's comments were racist. She believed they were far too sweeping about Nigerians and Ugandans. She said that she was utterly disturbed by this vigilantism. Yet, your government is at this moment served an ultimatum to the Delhi cops, is threatening a dharna. Some people would say you have to understand you're now in government. You're no longer the rebels.
The dharna is about the police's high-handedness, their corruption, their unwillingness to respond to even very serious complaints made by people. For example, one of the complaints made by Rakhi Birla was about inaction of the police regarding for not arresting people who had burnt a girl in broad daylight. She had suffered from 45% burns. Now, in the case of this, I have not investigated these facts myself about what happened that night with these Nigerians. But what I have been told is that the residents had been complaining to the police for a long time that there is drug peddling going on, there is prostitution going on there. The police was not willing to take any action. That night, on a specific complaint about these kind of activities going on there, Somnath Bharti apparently called one PCR van and went along with them. And there, apparently, one of the policemen, and this is what I have been told. As I said, I have not investigated this.
But Prashant,
I certainly do not support any street vigilantism in the sense of...
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you, that, you know, to make a woman urinate in public, if this is true, to illegally take samples, this is mobism.
See, these
it's
are
not democracy.
all kinds of stories fly, all kinds of stories and allegations fly thick and fast in these kind of matters. Therefore, the facts need to be ascertained. One needs to get to the bottom of this. I am told that the LG has ordered some inquiry into all these issues. Let us see what that inquiry reveals. Certainly, we do not support any kind of people taking law into their own hands. But if the police is not acting where crimes are being reported to them, if police is not acting to arrest people who have burnt girls in broad daylight, etc., then certainly the people are entitled to get agitated. The people are entitled to complain about the police.
I know everybody is wanting to react, so I'll start with Shekhar. I'll start with Shekhar, then Harish.
I think first of all, even I don't know all facts of the case. Yeah. But you know, knowing Prashant to be a very eminent lawyer, I would just urge the use of that much misused word allegedly. Yeah. You know, people alleged to have burnt a woman in broad daylight. Right, not burned. You know, it's too early. Nobody knows. Everybody is entitled to legal defense, and there can always be another side to the story. But having said that, this is, first of all, nobody should be allowed to take law in his own hands. I agree with Prashant. But a minister hopping into a police PCR going on a raid is taking the law into your own hands. See, what is this whole talk of what is the whole talk about police reform in this country, which I'm sure Prashant supports, which many other activists like him support, on which we agree. We disagree on many things, but on this we agree that there should be no political interference in the functioning of the police. Those of us who support reform in India say that two areas remain unreformed in India. One is political control over resources, including land and minerals and spectrum, and second is political control over the police forces.
Okay.
So we should, one would expect AAP to set an example by keeping its hands off the police, in this case, if ministers start going on raids, tomorrow they'll start going on ambushes. In Chhattisgarh, some minister will go and get 20 Naxalites killed, right? Or they'll say policemen are not killing Naxalites, they'll be
okay, I'm almost at the end of time. Harish Salve, Ashok Malik, just last thoughts. Harish, yes, Harish.
Barkha, I made a comment on your channel.
Yes.
What is wrong for BJP, what is wrong for Congress is wrong for our party.
Yeah.
We have been fighting, and Prashant and I are on the same side on this. We have been fighting to get political interference in police investigation removed. Whether it is police interference in the police function to arrest somebody or not to arrest somebody, it is interference in police function. What you and I saw on TV is not acceptable in a society governed by the rule of law.
It's also socially Taliban-esque. You know, to call people prostitutes. Frankly, prostitution law in India is very nuanced.
Yes, it
right?
is.
And it's nuanced so as to protect the women who actually may be caught in a web of exploitation.
Okay, I have just 2 minutes left. Prashant, I'll allow you a minute to rebut everything you've heard, and then last word to Ashok Malik. Prashant?
You see, while I absolutely agree that there should not be any political interference with police functioning, but is the citizen of this country not entitled to complain about police functioning or about inaction of the police or about corruption of the police? Today we are seeing FIRs of rape are not being registered by the police. Our people have had to stage dharnas in front of police stations to just get FIRs registered. And there our volunteers were beaten up by the police, etc.
Standing and shouting on a DCP, arrest somebody, is interfering with the police.
I'm saying that when it comes to women who have been dubbed sex workers,
no.
It's a very complex debate if they are even.
In fact, yes, it is a complex debate, but what I am saying is that's why the facts are important. If the facts are such that one woman has been burnt in broad daylight, the people who have burnt her have been seen by many people, and yet the police is not acting in the matter, either not even registering an FIR or not moving further to arrest the people, the culprits who have burnt a woman in broad daylight, then are the people not entitled to protest? Are the citizens not entitled
Okay,
to
Harish,
protest?
what are you saying?
Are
Actually,
they
you have
not
30
entitled
seconds
to
left.
bring
Minister
this to the
cannot
notice of their elected
stand
representative?
and tell the policeman, break a door, arrest so-and-so, detain so-and-so. That is not permissible.
This is
You want
Taliban
to call the police to account, you ask them, have you registered an FIR? Show me what you've done.
Delhi can't be reduced to
You
a
cannot
caliphate.
go
no.
onto the street and say arrest so-and-so.
Okay, Ashok Malik.
Look, the shift from agitprop to governance is never easy.
Yeah.
AAP is learning it the hard way. AAP has limited political capital. It's a new party. If it wants to make a go of it in 30 or 40 seats nationally, it had better take governance in Delhi seriously. If
Okay.
this becomes a fiasco, AAP is over.